Good day everyone, I am Liga Villarta from BSB HRTG. I will discuss the labor disputes and employee rights, the case of Benitez versus Santa Fe Moving and Relocation Services, a case study on serious misconduct and due process in employment. Number 208163 is a labor dispute involving Roque B. Benitez, a union officer who was dismissed for serious misconduct after allegedly insulting his employer. Bedit Kurangin, during a company Christmas party in 2010, Benitez claimed his dismissal was illegal and an act of unfair labor practice, while the company argued that his action warranted termination. The case went through the labor arbiter, NLRC, and Court of Appeals, all ruling in favor of the company. Background of the case. The case involves Roque B. Benitez, a union officer and former packing and moving operator, along with the Santa Fe Labor Union Federation of Free Workers, who filed a complaint against Santa Fe Moving and Relocation Services and its managing director, Bedit Kurangin, an Australian citizen. The union represented Benitez, claiming his dismissal was unjust and an act of unfair labor practice, while the company defended its decision, citing serious misconduct as the reason for termination. The dispute centered on whether Benitez's action warranted dismissal and whether proper due process was followed. What was the main issue? The main issue in this case was the termination of Roque Benitez, which he argued was unjust and illegal because the company failed to follow due process before dismissing him. He also claimed that his dismissal was an act of unfair labor practice as he was a union officer and the company allegedly wanted to weaken the union's influence. On the other hand, the company insisted that Benitez's serious misconduct, insulting his employer during a company event, was a valid reason for dismissal, leading to a legal battle over employee rights, due process, and workplace discipline. Timeline of events leading to the dispute. The dispute began on December 18, 2010 when Roque Benitez allegedly insulted his employer during a company Christmas party, leading to his termination on December 20, 2010 for serious misconduct. On February 8, 2011, he filed a complaint for illegal dismissal and unfair labor practice. The labor arbiter, September 14, 2011, ruled in favor of the company, which was later upheld by the NLRC, March 15, 2012. Though it awarded $50,000 in nominal damages for lack of due process. The Court of Appeals November 7, 2012 and July 10, 2013 affirmed this decision. Finally, on April 20, 2015, the Supreme Court upheld Benitez's dismissal but reduced the damages to $30,000, settling the case. Causes of the incident. The incident occurred during the company Christmas party on December 18, 2010, where Roque Benitez became upset over the raffle system, claiming it was unfair because previously drawn names were being placed back, increasing some employees' chances of winning multiple times. His complaint led to confrontation with Managing Director Bedit Kurangil, during which Benitez allegedly verbally insulted him in front of employees and guests. Some witnesses also claimed that Benitez attempted to throw a beer bottle at Kurangil but was restrained. This incident became the basis for his termination on grounds of serious misconduct. Legal actions taken. After his termination on December 20, 2010, Roque Benitez filed a complaint on February 8, 2011, alleging illegal dismissal and unfair labor practice, arguing that he was fired without due process and that his termination was meant to weaken the labor union. In response, Santa Fe Moving and Relocation Services defended its decision, stating that Benitez's serious misconduct, verbally insulting the managing director and allegedly attempting to throw a beer bottle at him during the company Christmas party, justified his immediate dismissal under the Labor Code's provision on serious misconduct, Article 282. The company insisted that his actions damaged workplace harmony and violated company policies. Labor Arbiter and NLRC rulings. The Labor Arbiter's decision on September 14, 2011 ruled in favor of Santa Fe Moving and Relocation Services, confirming that Roque Benitez committed serious misconduct, which justified his dismissal. Benitez appealed to the National Labor Relations Commission, which on March 15, 2012, upheld the validity of his termination but found that the company failed to follow due process by not providing proper notice before dismissal. As a result, the NLRC awarded Benitez $50,000 in nominal damages for the violation of his procedural rights. Court of Appeals and Supreme Court decision. The Court of Appeals rulings on November 7, 2012 and July 10, 2013 reaffirmed the NLRC's decision upholding Roque Benitez's dismissal as a valid while maintaining the award of $50,000 in nominal damages for due process violations. Benitez then elevated the case to the Supreme Court, which on April 20, 2015 dismissed his petition, confirming that his termination was justified due to serious misconduct. However, the court found the $50,000 nominal damages excessive and reduced it to $30,000, citing the company's failure to follow proper dismissal procedures. Conclusion. The case of Benitez versus Santa Fe Moving and Relocation Services highlights the importance of workplace discipline and due process in labor disputes. While the Supreme Court upheld Benitez's dismissal for serious misconduct, it also emphasized the employer's responsibility to follow proper termination procedures, awarding him $30,000 in nominal damages for due process violations. This case serves as a reminder that while companies have the right to dismiss employees for just cause, they must strictly comply with legal requirements to ensure fairness and avoid legal consequences. Next, I will discuss the Filipino labor leader, Rolando Calando Olalia. Rolando Calando Olalia was a Filipino labor leader and chairman of the Kilusang Mayo Uno, or KMU, a major labor federation in the Philippines. He was a dedicated advocate for workers' rights, fighting for fair wages, job security, and better working conditions. His leadership made him a key figure in the labor movement, especially during the transition from the Marcos dictatorship to democracy. Circumstances of his death, contributions, and legacy. Circumstances of his death. Rolando Calando Olalia, a well-known labor leader and chairman of the Progressive Labor Group's KMU, was brutally murdered on November 13, 1986. His body, along with that of his driver, Leonor Alay, was found in Antipolo, Rizal. They were tortured and shot in what is believed to be a politically motivated crime. Many suspect that elements of the military, particularly the the Armed Forces movement, were involved, as Olalia was a strong supporter of democracy and workers' rights during the post-Marcos era. Contribution to the labor movement. Calando was a dedicated labor leader who fought for workers' rights, advocating for higher wages, job security, and better working conditions. As the chairperson of KMU, one of the most influential labor federation in the Philippines, he played a key role in uniting workers and pushing for labor reforms. He actively opposed government policies that suppressed labor contributions to the labor movement. Calando was a dedicated labor worker who fought for workers' rights, advocating for higher wages, job security, and better working conditions. As the chairperson of KMU, one of the most influential labor federation in the Philippines, he played a key role in uniting workers and pushing for labor reforms. He actively opposed government policy that suppressed labor unions and strongly criticized military interventions in labor disputes, making him a prominent voice in the fight for social justice and workers' welfare. Legacy. Calando's assassination became a symbol of the risk faced by labor leaders and rallying point for activists demanding justice. His death sparked calls for a greater protection of union leader and increased accountability from the government and military. Despite his tragic fate, his legacy continues to inspire the labor movement, reminding workers and activists of the ongoing fight for justice, fair labor policies, and human rights in the Philippines. Today, Calando is remembered as one of the most fearless defenders of workers' rights in the Philippine history, inspiring future generation of labor activists.